Welcome to South Harmon. Welcome to South Harmon. Hey, welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Another AMA. Ask me anything. Super chat is cool if you wanna pay to play. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Let me introduce you to the tear down king. Mike McNutty, ask your questions, he'll answer anything. ATM, you know Adam, put them graphics on the screen. Glad you tapped in now, stay tapped in for the team. Hey, everything is posted. Go follow the socials. South Harmon FF tag us if we get noticed. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today. Another AMA. Welcome to South Harmon, we glad you here today.
Hey. Yeah. Fuck, we got money raining on us already. Like we
make it rain, Trick. Make it rain.
Welcome in, everybody. Wednesday night AMA. Hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas. Adam, this is probably a first for us, doing a show on Christmas. Is this first?
Dude,
it's gotta be a first.
Listen. It's not just a first. It is a first. It's a first, but it's also like, it's just one of those. Got the wife's entire family here. It's worth it too. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a good time. And listen, our house is crazy right now, Mike. We have like Christmas. We have no room in the inn, buddy. Legitimately, we have people sleeping in spots that are not bedrooms. But I don't know, man. The chaos is kind of fun in a way. We're having a ball over here. I'm not sleeping.
Good,
I tried to sleep in the basement, and it just. I'll get some sleep tonight, no matter where I am. I promise you that much. Get a little bourbon in me.
I had the fam over, so we put up a king size air mattress. That's how we roll in the basement, because all of our beds are also full. Couches were all full, so it's good. I kicked them all out right after lunch today, but we're good, man.
Nice.
I love Christmas. Hey, we got football. We had football on Christmas.
We did, bro. We did, man.
On a Wednesday.
How'd you feel about it, buddy? Like, give me the truth on this,
Well, Texans would have been nice if you would have showed up.
Yeah.
Nice if you would have showed up, but
hey, McNutted, I've been listening to your bad takes and answers for over a year now. It's time to get the hell out of here. Come on, guys. Let's go home.
Sorry, I don't know what this is all
the
about.
fucking shitters are leaving.
What the hell?
I
Good.
gave you Jade Daniels. You had great.
That's what.
Slowpoke. Hurry up.
What about this guy? What's this guy?
They call him Slowpoke?
Bye.
He did.
He can't even believe his eyes. Come on, Santa, get a pick.
Oh, fucking Morgan Freeman. Let's go.
What the hell? Santa's like under me. What the? Buddy, what is going on here?
It's like that song, Pose. Photo shoot. Pose. And black screen. Aw. Look, it is Christmas. Good job.
Hey,
Merry Christmas.
we're home with him,
Train. Yeah, we back. Fuck them shitters, man. I don't like them anyways.
Well,
Bunch of dicks.
I mean, what's crazy is we're at home with him, buddy. You can take the shit out of me, but I can't take the shit out of you. We're here.
Shithead for life.
I didn't really see how these were going to be sized out. We'll have to listen. We have to do a little less of me and you. We'll do more of our takes, less of our face. How about that?
I'll take that. Smaller me goes with the weight loss.
Yeah.
Make me look slim.
Whoa, slim, dude! I like this. But you didn't even wait. You know what I like about it too? You didn't even wait for the New Year's resolution. Like people want the calendar has to change. Like it has to change years for you to decide. Like this is the line.
I said it before, man. The new year starts at the Fantasy Football Expo in August. That's us, man.
It does. You know what sucks about it though? Can I tell you the truth? That I'm excited for it still, but I'm not quite over it. All right, is that okay to say? Is that okay to admit?
I still want to see all my friends, so it'll be fine.
Buddy, I'm not telling you I'm not going. I'm saying I'm
saying.
hurt.
I'm still hurt, but I'm getting over it, man. It's the people that make it. You know what I mean? It's like Christmas.
You know what? You get over things quicker than I do. I haven't even. It's not even real to me yet. You know, it's kind of like Santa Claus. I don't even know if it's real.
I already fucking buried it.
Like there's a glimmer of hope in me that just says like, what if that, you know, listen, what if it was just a tough year for them and it falls through all of a sudden? Hey, we're open. We're open.
Gary hit you back up. The credits.
You know what? Actually, here, let me give you a story. So we have my sister-in-law here. She lives in New York City, bro. So her apartment goes up in flames. This building goes up in massive flames. Okay, about a month ago, her entire floor like got charred, buddy. She was not able to go into the building for 10 days, right? And they weren't even giving her like updates because they couldn't really. And she basically was of the mindset after a while like, she's going to lose everything she has, right? Other than her cat. She got her cat out. Buddy, she's one of two on that entire floor that didn't get, like, charred to the ground, or basically there was nothing in there. She had almost everything good to go when she got back.
Damn.
Think about that. You know what's crazy about that, though? Like, if you got, imagine getting yourself, you get prepared for the worst, like, everything you own, like,
yeah, I'm toasted,
all your,
literally.
Gone. Like, all them shoes you just bought, gone, buddy. Like, there is nothing left, right?
Rip. No, that's silver lining, man. Silver lining. Woo. Sorry for all the other people, though. That's got to suck. That's terrible.
Yeah.
No, Adam, the games, weren't that competitive today.
Yeah.
But superstars that we needed, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry.
Yep.
They showed up. Travis Kelce had himself a game. Even the once, I'll take Juwan Jennings straight up over this guy. Xavier
Dude,
Worthy.
you know, it's so good.
Can
I say I'm so happy that he did too, because, Mike, I've been in the lab, and one thing about me too, I'm kind of finding out about myself. While if you're around me, you might think I'm negative. I'm kind of an eternal optimist. I always think I'm going to get like the entire world done for a crazy show. So not everything that I got in my head is out here. What I was going to put, and we'll just talk about it because we don't have to have the visual, right? Let's take a look at Warp. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens after this year, or after this week. But, Mike, Xavier Worthy, I will give you credit because he is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. is as far as Warp goes for the year right now.
Damn. I wouldn't have guessed that one. Total on the year. I know the last few weeks have been pretty good for Xavier Worthy. Obviously, week one was incredible.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a lot of disappointment in there. Like a lot of But telling you what, man, since Hollywood Brown's been back, and they kind of talk about it on the broadcast, they got to use him in the role that they actually want, and he seems to be thriving in this role. Thriving now. He's playing well. It'll be interesting to see how the Warp shakes out. You know, when we kind of do that playoff Warp and we look at the winners.
Yeah.
Who's the league winners? How high Xavier Worthy will actually be on this.
You know what's great? Go ahead.
He'll be a pretty good wide receiver, too, is my guess.
In the playoff push, you meaning?
Yeah.
Got it.
In the playoff push, 15, 16, 17.
It'll be interesting to see where he shakes out, especially with next week included. I'm pulling it up. I had it up earlier, but, here we go. Mike, I want to give you some things to be merry, happy, jolly about, and then honestly, I'm just kind of curious what some of them are. One, I was going to tell you about both of those players, right? You were right on Xavier Worthy as far as relative to Marv, but the problem is for him, at least going into this week, there's a lot of guys still ahead. Jordan Addison, Mike Jameson Williams.
Yep, it's only taking them 10
J-Mo.
years.
You know what's crazy though? J-Mo, think about this. J-Mo was basically by us especially written as completely dead. Like, literally, you were no need to try to resuscitate, right? Like, just let the man. Bro, it was kind of funny as you look back on things. Like, bro, I didn't even have a share, and it's like, I get it. I was leaning into it, but dude, you didn't have a single share when the cost was like a late third. You know, like just in case. No, it's not how I play. But man, Mike, he is right now, for the record, in a full PPR league, a warp per game. All right, let's get to the ones that matter. Right,
The nut cutting.
26th, Jameson Williams. Slim Reaper, man. Who?
High wide receiver 3. Let's go.
Bro, he's the person in front of him, Rashid Shaheed, so you could skip that. Jordan Winnington, because of the way it works out, is 23. So you could basically say skip all. He's a wide receiver 2 in warp per game right now, man. That is crazy to me. I couldn't. There was a few on here I couldn't get over. Alan Lazard, for the record, as well. Crazy. But Mike, I wanted to get one. There was a couple that were really interesting to me. So Rashee Rice, while dead and gone, all my homies are dead and gone. Still like saying, listen, you're doing well, young fella, but the bar was set at a little bit of a different level. I think if you have Worthy, though, you have to love this because he wasn't on Adonai's path, but it wasn't far off. Like, it was just meaningless. And then we've really seen him come along. I think the last probably 4 to 5 weeks has been not as bad of a floor, but also he's been getting consistent looks. So I'll give the kid his crops, you know? I know you love that part.
To say he wasn't on Adonai's path or not too far off, that's kind of an exaggeration.
In Warp, he wasn't, outside of the one game where he had 2 end-arounds, right? Pause.
One guy's completely fucking dead.
Toast. Listen, this is why I like to.
I mean, look,
revisionist.
His best scoring week was 13.1 points.
You know what's crazy about it is that's why I wanted to make sure to use past tense on that because they were on the same damn path, and he was getting more targets, which is crazy. But Mike, it's okay. I'm not going to bury you just out of the gates early in the Merry Christmas. I thought we were going to have a Merry Christmas. Come on.
Double-digit fantasy points one time.
Well, here, Mike, here's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so
games.
What do you think is wide receiver? I have a question for you. Christmas, I've been not a lot of sleep. I've been drinking. So, is wide receiver 12 good?
It was pretty good. That's not bad.
Is it good? Is it even better if it's higher in per game?
Yeah.
Do you get bonus points? All right. You know what's crazy is, man, the victory lapping early is just a fun thing, isn't it? The Cooper Kupp thing. Like, damn. Bro, his last 2 weeks, not only did he lose everyone that – I don't think Cooper Kupp and Mike Evans were the reason you got or didn't get to the playoffs because they both missed time probably, right? But if you set your team up around them, like they both could have been in position to smash – Evans, until recently, wasn't smashing, honestly, even when he came back early, right? So, but he is – Mike is crazy. Mike Evans would not have won us that league anyway because we didn't have a fucking quarterback. So that's one of my favorite things I like to do with my friends. We have these heated debates when at the end of the day, the winner gets nothing. You get a big fat – we didn't – bro, we had – what was crazy is we had a couple decent little calls on like complete long shots at QB, right? Well, Joe Flacco, but then he lost his job quickly. We were literally without a single quarterback with no way to pick one up. Like, that is fantastic, bro.
And we were in the mix right till the end.
We almost had him. That is crazy. Mike, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, too, because I've been getting a lot of pushback on BTJ. I mean, rightfully so. The dude has been balling, and I want to put this out there on Christmas while we're all having fun. You know, I'm not trying to tell you Brian Thomas isn't a good football player, that I don't think he's going to be, you know, a very relevant receiver. I just don't believe he's going to be someone that stays in this elite tier that he's basically pushing into. So, but what I do want to get to is it's kind of crazy considering it is a lot because of volume, but when you look at warp per game again, dude, Malik Neighbors is wide receiver 13. Now, obviously, you bake in the early part of his season, but I mean, dude, if you're telling me he's a wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2, when we know there's no upside for like 8 weeks, I mean, his price is reflective of everyone being excited too. But I was expecting it as the weeks continued here to be worse than that was in points per game, where I was thinking he'd be more like a wide receiver 2 because he still is beating. That's the crazy part, bro. He's still beating Brian Thomas Jr. in WAR per game. So
I guess it depends on what league you're looking at too, because I'm just looking at the
full PPR. One. Yeah, full
generic
PPR.
One, full PPR.
That's what I'm looking at.
Normal. I got Brian Thomas Jr. at 0.154, Malik Neighbors at 0.153. So
you have to check the math because we got 0.125 versus 0.127. But here's the thing, right? Like, isn't this probably as good as it could have started for BTJ?
Yeah, well, not as good as it could have started. It would have been better if maybe his quarterback didn't get hurt.
Let me say, looking back at it,
Suck.
I'm saying for
All right,
his
'cause
in
Trevor
a more
Lawrence-
of a blanket statement for his rookie season. I'm saying, right? This
Yeah.
is
Like
as good of a
he
rookie
has it,
season as you could have hoped for,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
and Malik is still doing that.
Malik's still up there. A lot of his stuff just buoyed from those ridiculous weeks he had to start the season. Just
I guess that's my.
absolutely insane.
But that's the thing about it. Like, when are they going to stop throwing him the ball? When he has a concussion? You know what's crazy about Brian Thomas Jr. Was on with Fizz.
When they draft Travis Hunter to go along with Shedeur Sanders.
Well, there you go. Well, that'd be good. They need to have something because you know what the Jaguars don't have since Brian Thomas has had this little rise. A corpse, a single corpse. They're all dead.
All of them.
So Mac Jones, as bad as he is like, all right, well, Seven's out there somewhere. His targets have risen quite a bit too. So I'm not saying they're going to come down
Which
drastically.
Malik Neighbors has enjoyed all season
Because he will. There's not going to be a season where he's going to not get targeted. Like, that's just clearly facts. What is he at? I was looking at this. Is he leading the NFL in targets?
he's got to be pretty fucking close.
Let's take a peek here. Let's do some.
Even
I'm
while
kind of
listening
wanting to
to
go
that.
through and do some like full season. We can talk about the Christmas games, obviously, still, but I want to do some full season numbers.
Guys?
Well, I mean, and some RIP takes too. Like, listen, I'm not going to tell you that I don't have some RIP takes this year. I definitely do. Let me start. I'll start with
as
one.
Malik Neighbors is. No one will ever forget you arguing for wide receivers over Jaden Daniels. Crazy.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, well, you want to have a Merry Christmas? We can. I mean, listen, the crazy part is you got one call right, and where's the other calls? Like, you got it.
Only
You got
needed
it.
one.
You only needed one? Come on, buddy. Well, what happened in Rusty Tromboners? Exactly. You needed more than one call. Who are you going to call? The Ghostbusters. They ain't here to save you. You're home alone.
I'll take the 11 other championships. It's a nice consolation prize.
Well, I'm rooting for you in those leagues. I hope you do win. I do.
It's kind of like last year where you had one title to hang over my head versus my 15.
That's true. It's true. I did have one title, and you know what? If I'm gonna get one title, I'm gonna take. I would take one title in that league with the vigor of that over 3 randoms. I would.
This is
every
like the
time.
Iowa State rivalry.
Yeah, I'm Brock Purdy.
You're Brock Purdy.
I'm Brock Purdy. I'll be Brock Purdy.
You can't be Brock Purdy because Brock Purdy never beat.
Well,
Iowa.
here, hold on. This is a perfect little segue. We'll start with this, okay, Mike? How about? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for it a little bit here.
Malik Neighbors, even though he missed time,
Sure.
leads the league in targets, 154. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I haven't looked at that stat quite recently, but is that good?
Yeah, well, it works out to about a 35.2% target share, which is pretty fucking high.
That's like Mike's video, which, by the way, killer video to start the year. You can go back and check it out if you're interested in the hindsight thing. League breaking secrets, Mike. League breaking secrets, 35.2. League breaking type of target share. Now, the thing is, normally when you get that type of target share, it would even be a little bit more meaningful just because of the fact that, I would argue there's some teams with some bad QBs, but I think I'd still take everyone else's backups that are out there. Like Drew Lock and Tommy Colcuts. I mean, this Tommy Colcutt thing might be a problem, like having a roster if it didn't have this, feel-good story to it last year, right?
That guy does not deserve.
Dan, it's weird how that happened, man.
Guy does not deserve a job in the NFL.
Listen, let's but I'm a little bit over this the solemnness. Let's get some a little more upbeat, man. We're merry,
Gifts.
Speaking of which, because I like Mike. I like when Mike's really dogging me. So let's start with this. All right. I have been getting a lot of gifts from Saquon Barkley. If you guys haven't heard me say this by now,
Literally.
I don't try to be the biggest gloater. I definitely will at times. I'm human, okay? But this one, it's easy to keep saying because it actually keeps happening. Mike, I cashed this in week. What was that? Week 3? I want to say.
Yep. first one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I felt pretty good about that. And then I was like, you know what, man? This happened so quick. I feel like we didn't get we didn't really get where we wanted to go with this. So let's double down.
Are we gonna watch a little TV?
I don't know what's on the TV though. This is really strange. What is that?
It's like some fucked up Paw Patrol.
It kind of feels like some of my bad takes. You thought it was gonna look good, like if that was the South Harmon logo, almost it looks fake trying to be, and then
No, that's definitely
R.I.P.
That's definitely like when your
it looks
kid
like a
draws
grandma's
you-
house.
That's definitely when your kid draws you a picture and you're like, "Oh, it's
Dude.
beautiful." What is it?
That's a good call, actually. That is, my kid is doing coloring. She's not drawing, but yeah, it's like, it's not in the lines. It's on the page somewhere. Good job, babe. We're going some places, you know?
Good. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. What was I going to say,
What
though?
this is?
Oh, Mike, so I wanted to go actually pull up. I was going to have in this TV, but I didn't have enough time to do it. Maybe another week. Where I was going to bring up the Barkley highlights because, like, you know what's crazy is he has 4, which is the record tied with Jim Brown. Forget the other person all of a sudden now. He's a great name. I mean, he had 4 touchdowns of 60 plus. But Mike, he had a yes, there you go. He had, you know what people forget about? Saquon had a 58-yarder.
Oh, so he just missed one too.
And guess what? He still has a few weeks. So I got not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 jerseys coming my way, Mike. And I've been talking about giving them away. So listen, I wanted to give it to you. I wanted you to already have it in person, but finding this jersey in general, it's fun. It is a absolute blast. Also, Corey, shout out to Corey Schumer. He's going to the game, and I was really hoping to get it to him before the game, but I will say so. I failed you, okay? I failed you.
Not
But
gonna happen.
I got you and Corey Schumer for Christmas, albeit fashionably like I'm always am, late. Couple 3Xs coming. One for Mr. Iowa, Michael, and one
look at you.
for Corey Schumer. Which brings me to my next point. If Saquon can do it, why not me? Well, I'm not Saquon, so let's stop there. But he's helping me out. I'm being dragged by the greatness of Saquon this year. I wanted to get into some running backs, especially at this point of the show, because I think we've already, you and I both knew this year that the correct play was to go away from running backs. We tried the up river swim. Like it was just making it hard for us, right? But I think you and I both knew, like, all right, that just means that we can get him at value, though. We're not wanting to go away from the running back completely. We don't want to have the risk, and we don't want to pay the premium prices. But I think that there is going to be, I'm not going to call it a massive shift. Like the wide receivers that we are at today, that was a massive shift that we didn't see coming, you and I, when we were, first starting making content and, upping leagues, right? But Mike, what I wanted to say is that I think there's going to be at least a change in the market because of what has happened this year and the fact that still most of the household names just ain't getting hurt, man, and are producing. So, the guys that are getting hurt are what? Montgomery. I mean, Pacheco was the big one, and CMC. But anyone at this point feels like they already knew, if they just didn't want to admit it, that CMC was an injury-prone guy. So I'm kind of at that spot. What about you? What do you think of this?
I think for you and I both, we faded running back in and went with this, we're going to adapt to the times approach, but only so far. If you remember, in the offseason, we talked about a draft strategy in startup where you didn't touch running back until the 10th round.
I mean, and at the time, I still don't think I look back at that and been like, I should have taken him earlier, because, Mike, we talked about this till blue in the face. There's so many running backs there that we got that, it's great to have Barkley and it's great to have Henry, but that doesn't mean you couldn't have gotten really great values in the 7th and the 8th and the 9th. I mean, Kamara ended up dying on us, right when we needed him, but that dude was a ridiculous value. I feel like me and you had him in leagues for 2-3 years now.
But what we did miss was all the landmines of Christian McCaffrey, right, due to injury.
Except for in redraft, damn it. You're right, though.
Breece Hall, for the most part, has been disappointing. Jonathan Taylor up until last week.
I'm kind of over Grandma's TV. Let's get out of here for a minute.
That's right. Travis Etienne, piss poor play. Remember, Travis Etienne was a 3rd-round startup pick, Adam.
I will tell you, I was already. I think you were too. Actually, I'm not for sure on you. I don't want to speak for you. I was already very cool on Etienne.
Yeah, well, Thomas Tipple did.
Thomas Tipple was he broke the dam in the river, buddy. The floodgates were open then. And when I started digging into some of the stuff he talked about, what was crazy was I remember like when he told us on AMA, speaking of this is AMA right now we're on, right? Where when he told me and you that as much as Bigsby sucked last year, like his rookie season, Bigsby is about as bad as it gets. When he said he was more efficient than Etienne, I'm like, there's just no way. Even if it's close, it's a win. And then when I found that out, I'm like, all right, well, there's got to be more to it than meets the eye here with Etienne. That offense in general, like, it's interesting with Brian Thomas and the Jaguars, but dude, look at that dumpster fire of a team. Remember a couple years ago, they're the big thing. They came back and won the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dude, Etienne, terrible. Bigsby had a little bit of spots here and there, but realistically, if Etienne's just healthy, it kind of nukes him. The offense isn't good enough to support him. T-Law's been just a name. I hate to say it. Speaking of C.J. Stroud, we talked about him possibly looking like the T-Law arc path. I don't want to put that on Stroud yet, but when I'm looking over at that game every quarter, Mike, and they got 2 points, I'm like, come on, my guy. I was told this is the 103.
If you prescribed to that draft theory in the offseason that you and I had, I would imagine you had pretty good success this year. Albeit you probably didn't have a Jacobs or a Joe Mixon or a Saquon Barkley or possibly even a Derrick Henry, even though Derrick Henry was hovering around that 9th, 10th round sometimes, which was nuts. Fucking nuts. But, Adam, I'm just going to name off some running backs. This is Adico's ADP from May through July. Peak startup season, right?
Okay.
Anybody 9th round or later, Alvin Kamara, paid off pretty well. Pretty high on the warp, even though here in the fantasy playoffs, maybe fucked you last week. Maybe we get him back this week.
You're getting warmer. Let's get over by the fire,
David Montgomery, he did all right for you.
He was, dude, I hate to say, he was a league winner until he wasn't.
Najee Harris.
I will admit, Najee Harris though is like, Najee was the body. He was the plug guy. Pause, but that's really kind of crazy.
He was the milk you leave out for Santa. In the morning, dude, it's warm.
He got you there. he helped just. He was the biggest flex seal that you ever saw, buddy. But everybody knew then. They know now. When I had to roll Najee out last week, Mike, I was like, that part just in general made me feel like I'm probably cooked. He wasn't the reason, but it just he's not. He doesn't have the upside. But to your point, like you could still patchwork together in the early part of the year with Najee.
Tony Pollard, early part of the year, pretty decent. Aaron Jones, also pretty decent. James Conner, 11th rounder.
Who?
Look at that. Yeah, James Conner. Brian Robinson Jr.
Yep.
If you had the Stones, Zach Charbonnet paid off for you.
Charbonnet and
this
lineup
week.
has been really nice though.
Chase Brown.
Till this last
like
week.
Him. Till this last week, yeah. How about Bucky Irving? Interested in a little Bucky?
Who Drew?
Chuba Hubbard?
You talking about Drew Lock, Dan?
J.K. Dobbins?
Yeah, J.K. was found money, but unfortunately, damn man, it's a tale as old as time with J.K. Sucks so bad every time, man.
I give you a couple other. Tyrone Tracy, Rico Dottle.
Tyrone Tracy was a gem until the entire offense got nuked.
So while maybe if he didn't prescribe to the running back thing and you did that strategy, I think you would have put together a running back room that would have been semi-competent.
Well, maybe I missed it because I'm got a lot going on over here. I don't know what to do with my hands. I hope you brought Chuba up, right?
Chuba Hubbard, yeah. I said him right.
I figured you did. I just
right before JK.
I wanted to say it again.
Oh yeah, for sure. He had some good ones.
Say his name. Say
Chuba,
my name.
Motherfucking Hubbard.
Buddy, Chuba was actually my brother-in-law was over here, and he plays in a couple leagues with me, and he drinking. He's like, why was that a good call? He's like, he wasn't in on Chuba, and he was basically saying, like, was it actually a good call, or did you get lucky? And I was like, well, everything about the call made sense. I mean, and he's like, well, when you missed, you had the same thing. Yeah. When you miss, I look at it in a process vacuum, and there's a lot of times that it's hard to it's put it like this, Mike. It's not just super simple grasp tangibly, like this is why I screwed up. But you dig, it's like an onion. You keep digging, you figure out where you messed up. Some of the things in process maybe you can correct and critique, but then also there is some truth. Yes, you're also going to get lucky on some hits. Like that's part of the game. I mean,
do you and I both in the off season did a video on Chuba Hubbard?
The Chuba thing, everything in process that I talked about, I'm pretty sure we were on the same wavelength on that. Like it all made too much sense.
We didn't even have this conversation together. We didn't. We just put out separate videos that said the same thing.
But that's what I'm saying. You and I do this very well.
Third, go buy Chuba Hubbard for a third because Jonathan Brooks ain't playing for at least the first fucking 8 weeks.
But that's what you and I do. We have such a similar archetype thinking of most stuff. Like we basically just said, okay, I already know I know he's got Chuba. You're like, he's good. I'm good. We don't talk about it. We kind of keep going back to the ones we disagreed on, even if there were, in reality, not that big of a difference at the time. We're going to be like, yeah, see, you should have been more like me, No, you should have been. But, I mean, Chuba was to me, the crazy part about it was in the moment where running backs were at the cheapest. Like, just because I'm going to the dollar menu doesn't mean I still don't want to get the best bang for my buck, right?
Ridiculously fucking cheap, man. Chuba was
there was no risk with Chuba. That was the thing, right? So you had
there wasn't.
They bought
a 3rd round pick he had to send for him. I think I listed off the deals at the time, and it was fucking just abysmal, like what you had to pay for Chuba.
I said a third and a fourth in a lineup league where, Mike, I told him that was my final offer. It wasn't, to be fair, but
you're like, this is it. I'm fucking.
Well, no, he hit me back for a second. And I'm like, no one's paying that. And at the time, the reason I wasn't going to pay it, Mike, was because the best part about Chuba was there was no risk because they bring in Robert Hunt, right? Coach speak is definitely something to be cautious of, but everything Canales was saying and doing is what? We're going to run the football.
We're going to run the ball.
Well, the problem with that is, one, you have to have someone they hand it to. And Jonathan Brooks wasn't going to be healthy for a while. Most people didn't want to hear it. And what happened? Their offensive line was improved. Look at Miami. Look at Devon Achane. All of a sudden, he's not running away from everybody. Funny how the trenches can work out. But the point was, for a 3rd round pick, Mike, how many guys can you buy for a 3rd round early in the year and say, I could have a very good chance at getting mid RB2 production for half a season, and then I'll figure it out from there. That was basically the price. But Mike, I've said on the video, I'm sure you were too, I'm like, I'm good with that. And then whatever happens next year when they give Brooks the keys, he'll probably just get a contract somewhere. He may not be a starter, but it's basically any running back on the 53 at that point. Bruh. But what if he does smash? Then they gave him the contract mid-season. I mean, listen, I'm not here to victory lap Jonathan Brooks' injury, okay? That's not what this is about. But at the running back position, what do we know? Serious injuries happen, and Chuba Hubbard played well enough to probably realistically be the 1A going into next year anyway. And then now it's like, dude, we have an offense that just invested heavily in the offensive line. They don't have much that they have to spend or worry about with money. So this is now a guy that's going to be looking like a stable running back too again next year. And maybe even better than that.
Yeah. And it was the Chuba thing. I had to go back. I was just checking the fucking tape. All right, checking the tape. I was looking at the deals that went down when I posted this. And this is in fucking July, Adam.
Yeah.
This is in July.
JCap, shout out to the lab. I remember digging in the lab all the time. And because it's hard to get trades done in July, Mike. It's hard to get trades done.
The rookie 2024 402 was getting traded 3 different times.
Well, Mike, to be fair, you could get Kamani Vidal, right?
You could get yourself Kamani Vidal. Now I'm interested. Like, who was the 402 just by like ADP standards in July?
I'm not crying. You're crying, Corey. Actually,
you got to guess. Who was the 402?
In ADP?
Yeah. May to July.
Give me, oh, gosh. The thing is, this varied so much. Like, Kamani Vidal rose, like, almost 2 rounds. You're like, what the? I remember towards the end of the season, I'm like, you guys are idiots. Like,
you can rule that one out because he ended up being like
he was literally like a late second from a fourth.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
I remember being in New York when I found that out. Like, I knew he was rising. Nick and I were doing a mock draft and we looked at the lab, actually. Shout out to Jacob again. And when he was the 210, I'm like, we both looked at each other like, all right, now I kind of am out. Like, you guys are acting like he's going to be the chosen one when he's a day 3 pick. Let me think. Hold on. Give me, you know what? How about Jalen McMillan? He was probably going a little ahead of that, though.
Jalen McMillan was mid
third. Okay, let me think. Let me get one more shot.
You're on the right track. It was a wide receiver.
This class was receivers there, so there's so many gross ones. Gosh, I hated taking those guys in this range. That's the other thing. I hated taking all of these guys. You know what? I'm gonna have to just. I don't even just give it to me. Damn it! I'm not gonna hit it. There's so many guys I could guess here. Who? Devontae Walker. You know what the worst part was? Is like, it's another. We do this at times. We get into college player, and then you're like, all right, he actually kind of sucks. And now
he does.
People are ruining it because I can't even get him as a waiver pickup. You know, they're drafting him in the fourth.
You and I both like the prospect coming out of Devontae Walker. Like, we thought he was intriguing, and then when the NFL told him that they don't fucking care, when the NFL said, "Nah, we good," you and I both went like, "We're probably good too."
Yeah, for sure. No question.
Yeah,
I mean,
right after him, Brendan Rice. So good thing you traded away Chuba Hubbard for Brendan Rice.
Mike, that reminds me. You know what? I love the victory lapping. You probably felt like I had an agenda out for you, but so sorry.
A little bit. Like I was like, God damn,
I know.
Coming after me on Christmas of
course,
all fucking
Mike,
days.
If you are
Christmas,
if you're my friend, that's how I talk to you, buddy. Like, I don't know how else to speak to you. Like, I'm just
all right. That's fair.
So, but anyway, I wanted to let me do what I normally do, which is I give Mike a little bit of a hard time. He kind of, hey man, not today. He gives me the bull, right? And it's like, all right, hey T-Rock, where you at, buddy? Ben Sinnott, huh?
Who?
Luke McCaffrey.
The Luke McCaffrey one does.
That was who I was gonna guess, but I think he was going higher than that too. Where was he
going? Higher than that. He was going mid third too. Like I got aboard the Luke McCaffrey.
That's impossible, right?
I did.
No, not that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not. That's. I just mean that. How is he going in ahead of the 4th round, dude? For what reason? Just because his last name McCaffrey? I really didn't get that one.
Well, what was he? He was a 3rd round NFL pick, wasn't he? In a wide receiver room that had traded away.
They took him late 3rd, right? Like it was right before they went into day 3.
I thought he was going to be something. The Ben Sinnott. Listen, you remember when they tried to change his name to Senate? Like I gave a fuck.
Now I'll call him by his proper name because he's properly buried. It's on a tombstone. It's on a tombstone.
Now I will say this about Sinnott. Okay, history with Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay, so far so good.
Zach Ertz may repeat itself. You remember Trey McBride was a guy that we all liked. In his rookie year, he did absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
Because Zach Ertz was there. Just say this offseason, if you can get Benson out for like a 3rd round pick, just fucking do it. All right? Maybe.
Don't do it. Brevin Jordan.
Do it. He is not Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan didn't have the fucking RAS score.
Here's the thing. You know what? He has a RAS score, but I want you to put some respect. Brevin Jordan actually had a very faint, albeit extremely faint pulse.
He did.
Ben Sinnott has to get reps. Like he's not even getting on the court. They won't even let him play in the pickup game. Okay.
Who's the other guy? Bates. They keep putting fucking Bates.
John Bates.
You remember when John Bates was going to be a thing like 3 years ago?
Mike, I watched this year because of that. We play in these best balls 35 or whatever. I watched this carousel of Washington tight ends because Ertz gets hurt, right? And They're picking up guys that you thought were literally you never hear from again, and we haven't. But Ben Sinnott, unfortunately, shout out to him. Hey, the good news is you only can probably have a better year next year. You know.
Dan Edwards asks, "Are we not buying Ben?" Dan, this is where me and Adam may differ. I will buy into Ben Sinnott. I will say here on December 25th, 2024, I'm buying into.
All right, Mike's drinking the bourbon.
If the price is a third, if the price is right, I'm not paying a fucking second. I'm not giving you a good fucking tight end. Fuck off. All right, I'm buying him at bottom dollar, and if I miss, I miss. All right.
Here, this is what you'll have when you buy him for a third. A blue Christmas. Mike, the crazy thing is, you know what we just talked about, Mike? Buying Chuba Hubbard for a fucking third, dude.
Look, all right. Right now, he's just in front of Noah Gray and Brenton Strange.
For how long?
Send either one of those.
Brenton Strange is about to go over him and keep trade cut in tomorrow, and he was negative one day, you know?
Would you pay Brenton Strange for Ben Sinnott? Straight up.
Honestly, I'm so committed to this A-Warp tight end life, and I love getting me some Strange. I probably would, but I might fight you. You know, I might fight you just to.
Noah Gray.
Here's the point for me. I don't actually believe right now, Mike, with what I saw from, what I didn't see from Ben Sinnott, the climb he's going to have to do to actually get to relevance, right? With the position in general, I just don't care about. So Noah Gray playing in a backup role for Kelsey probably realistically could end up being as meaningful as Sinnott, even if he took a little bit of a step forward next year. Like, I think that's the thing for me. He has to take such a big leap. Like, I'm not saying that I don't project him to be better next year, but realistically, what does that matter in tight end, right? Tight end land. The winter wonderland of tight ends. That's the problem for me, why I'm not in. That's why. It's not actually anything other than that, right?
In the 2025 rookie class, I mean, what's a late third at this point?
Well,
oh shit.
For me, it's holding them picks because you never know when you might. You know, if you go to buy a Christmas gift,
Chuba Hubbard.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like today, 25th, yesterday, if you tried to buy a Christmas gift, you were paying an arm and a leg trying to get it here. You were, calling people like, "Hey, I got 2 3XLs. I'm helping you out. How can I get them here?" You can't. The price is astronomical, but if you get it if you bought Christmas gifts in February, you get some pretty good deals, huh? I mean, that's my biggest thing is you could definitely hit a pick in the third if you just kept it, but a lot of times if you're mindful and patient, I think, Mike, you could end up actually using that for something that's much more relevant for me.
If it wasn't Cliff Kingsbury exactly, and it wasn't Zach Ertz exactly,
I would
be with you.
I wish it wasn't Christmas, because I would be putting on your boy right now, Moneybag Yo. Speak, guys. You can clog your roster for free. That's fair.
If it wasn't Cliff Kingsbury and Zach Ertz specifically, I wouldn't be in. Like, this dude couldn't even. But I already seen this story with Trey McBride, and I made fun of Roster Bader for it all fucking off season when he was hyping up Trey McBride. And then
you don't do that to Trey McBride, okay? Because I want to make it very clear that what Trey McBride did in the finish of his rookie season, albeit most people didn't see it, it was quiet. It was a silent fart for most. Mike, there was air there though. That was a fart. Ben Sinnott has literally. I don't even know if you could say properly clogged your roster. He's literally like a red shirt.
Trey McBride had 1 game in week 17.
And guess how many more that is than Ben Sinnott? As far as snaps go. Forget points.
You know who's setting up for having 1 game in week 17 of the rookie? Because Zach Ertz got a fucking concussion, man. Can I tell
you why?
Just don't shoot the
Let's get biblical, baby. Zacchaeus, come down from that tree. Jamison Crowder and Zacchaeus will go for 2 touchdowns apiece before Sinnett's going to even get targets.
Don't shoot the messenger. Ben Sinnett's going for 20 burger this week.
I will say, I love how this has kind of come together. Merry Christmas. Mike is doing a great job. He's proud of you, buddy. Losing weight, But some habits die hard, huh? I mean, damn it. Fuck.
Some do.
I really wish I could see I'm not going to be able to do it. I wish I could talk you off this thing. I think because of the position, right? For me, I don't really believe in the ascension for him even mattering even in a better position. But J-Mo would be the case there. At receiver, okay, I get it because if he gets those snap, here's the truth with Sinnott. Like, if he takes a big step forward next year, Chig might be better. I mean, Strange could give you the same production. That the risk for me with a pick that's not a fifth or a fourth. All right, let's. I'm probably just, especially in all these best ball leagues we play in, Mike. You know what happens? I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna do that today. That'll be fun. I'm trying to run a graphic show. I'm trying to do a million things at once, and I'm talking about Ben Sinnott so much I can't. We've been looking at this fire that's not even on. That's Ben Sinnott. You guys were all excited for the Flames. They're dead.
It's just a picture. Just a picture. Just a picture.
That's fair.
I love it. Ben Sinnott. Let's go. Ben Sinnott.
Fair.
Ben Sinnott.
Let's get away from this.
Oh, look,
a little hot up there.
Now we're going. Now we cooking. You remember last year when I wouldn't call Pop Douglas until he actually did something?
Is he DeMario or Pop now?
He's still DeMario. He hadn't done
Really?
fuck.
He changed his number and Mike wouldn't let him have his name changed. I love that.
You got to do something, man. Got to do something.
Mike, it's kind of interesting. Mike, we've only been doing this for 3 years, actually. Okay?
Yeah.
But you start to catch patterns. You start to catch patterns.
3.5. All right.
Well, not even a half. It was August.
We gotta count the first.
It counts, but it was also that was very different. That was very
first
different.
Solo show on Patreon I did was in July, motherfucker. All right.
Yeah, because you, like always, hey Adam, we don't want you on the show. I'm gonna do this without you. That was a good show, by the way. I was proud of you, but I'm like, damn it, you started in July. I started in August. Okay.
Dude, I started off
like
with
always. I'm
banner,
late.
did I not?
You know that. I'm late.
I started off by burying Trey Sermon.
Even though I didn't get an invitation, I was late. All right, and that was a great.
Which all 3 people who listened to that episode may or may not have actually faded Trey Sermon.
The other 2 have to be in the show because I think I'm one of them. No, but so Mike, this is the thing: the patterns, which you kind of think, at least for me, I'm always kind of trying to big brain and think like, what's the next steps? And I always have to do this. I have to unravel and be like, no, not everyone's shooting forward and thinking how they get this tight end thing. It's going to go on for the rest of our lives, Mike. There are going to be people shooting for the tight ends that busted already. Like that's just an asset in general. Like forget him for a second. That's an asset where he got drafted with his profile even still. There's just nothing in it for me. Like with J-Mo, the process that I learned is that, especially in best ball, but even in lineup, if I'm wrong about Sam Laporta, if I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, because he is a talented player, you could end up actually eating, a dick, right? Ben Sinnott, Mike, I could be dead wrong. You could come on here a year from now and victory lap me, and it didn't amount to nothing because I could beat you with any one of the tight ends that didn't cost me a dime. That's the problem.
Hunter Henry.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Hunter Henry ran circles around Ben Sinnott's career this year. Hunter Henry's been disrespected. That's the other crazy part about the Titans. He's been disrespected for how many years now? 5?
Yeah, everyone hates Hunter Henry.
When him and Jonnu Smith got signed to New England together, it was like it was it. No one cared anymore.
It was the end of Hunter Henry, as we knew.
Except for us, we got to be that guy,
I'm going back. Like I'm trying to find the exact date of this where I buried Tracer.
Did you bury him?
It's a lot of scrolling. It's like a 15-minute episode.
Listen, I didn't really
get there.
I didn't really get to cook it up as much as I wanted to, but this is kind of what it is for me. Like we know what's going to happen.
July 27th of 2021, boy.
There he is.
July 27th, 2021. What's up?
Jameis, the elf.
Jameis.
It was fun. He's crazy. Absolutely wild, right? But who cares? Because he's on to a new team. He's so fun. He gave me a little bit of hope this year. You know, he really did. He really did.
Dude, these are so bad. It's an 18-minute pod.
Now I'm sad looking at Jameis. Like, look how happy he is. You know.
Yeah. Well, he don't look that happy no more. He's toast.
Yeah, he started stepping backwards, and buddy, Jerry Jeudy, another one, by the way.
It was
You
good
see where he is
Jameis was
at.
there.
I meant to bring his name up too. I kind of forgot.
How
I was
high
getting
though, Jerry?
I was getting
Jerry
resistance,
climbed.
so I couldn't even read the warp chart before I was getting pushback. But he's a. Let's pull it up. I have it still up here. Huh. I want to say it was like 19. Maybe it was even higher. Oh my
Damn.
gosh. No, dude, it might be higher. No, it's got to be lower then. Points per game. This would be interesting if it's not very relevant. There's no way.
Wide receiver 35 on our good friends.
31 warp per game in PPR. But okay,
For
so this
wide
is
receivers?
yeah. That doesn't make sense though, does it?
He basically did fucking nothing until.
That's the thing though. The thing is like what he made if you just told someone this is how the season's going to be and you're going to play him the whole time. Like just cuz JMO sprinkled him around in different parts of the year, a little early, a little late, like that shouldn't matter though. Jerry Jeudy had like 4 weeks in a row where it's like holy fuck. I don't really get that one, but I'm curious to see what he is in warp overall though, because I thought it was higher.
Let me just read off some game logs for Jerry Jeudy.
Dude, especially when Watson was in there, nobody ate. It's like 140 yards for the team passing.
11, 12, 8, 13, 2, 4, 2, 12, 14. Week 11. 26, 14, 40, 17, 21.
But you know what 40 does? 40 wins you so look, if you look at A-Warp without the points per game, it's almost like someone did their homework. 19.
Oh, man. 2 of these nuts is out of here. We ramble too much.
I'm sorry.
Probably skipped his question. I saw that earlier. He's gone.
Tua, I'm sorry. If you had a question, I see. It's AMA and it's Christmas. We're doing a show on a holiday, and you're mad we didn't get to your question. So, all right, you can. Honestly, if you're upset about me not answering your free question on Christmas, you can take my nuts. Honest to God, like that's how I'm feeling today. Go ahead, man. Get out of here. Go. Go. Merry Christmas. Seriously, dog. Like
you fucking spicy tonight. Bye.
No, man. Bro, like come on, man. Seriously? You're just going to you're going to act mad because we haven't gotten to the question? We haven't hardly gotten to any questions yet. It's Christmas. It's Christmas Day.
Question?
I don't even know. I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm scrolling. Wasn't super chatted.
I don't. You know what? I don't want to know anymore. You're gone. You don't. If you want to ask a question,
nah, I don't see it.
I'm good.
Yeah, fuck it.
I don't need that type of energy, bro. Like honestly.
But the reason Judy's so fucking low, to your point, Adam.
Bro, you realize it's Christmas Day, Mike?
Till week 11.
It's Christmas Day. We're coming here. Yeah, we're talking. We're drinking. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to be merry. Like, I'm sorry I didn't see your question.
And Adam's only slept like.
Get out of here, dog. No way. That's crazy,
14
man.
minutes. Adam's only
I normally don't say anything to the stuff in the comments because there's nothing good that's going to come from it. But that's ridiculous, man. I'm sorry.
Tom's got you. Ramble boys, ramble.
You're always welcome to leave, bro. Like honestly, it's crazy. And the worst part is my bar is rated right now. I need a drink, and it's all upstairs. So you know what? I'm gonna open the Johnny Walker Black Label for my nuts. 1 sec.
Ooh, Johnny Walker Black Label.
Yeah.
But no. To the point, Adam. Judy did fucking absolutely nothing, which is why on Total Warp or Warp per game, he's gonna look fucking terrible. Like when you got multiple 2-pointers, Jesus Christ, 5 targets, 1 catch. 5 targets, 1 catch on 95% snaps. That's wild. Dude's out there running routes all over the place, just running wind sprints.
Who is this?
Judy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Like, dude, I don't know if you played a lot of sports. I don't know if you played on like a really bad team. I got the pleasure of doing that my last 2 years in college. People don't even tend to care. Like the fact that he actually had any type of a big relevance there is obviously because Jameis chucking all over the yard. But, buddy, it's normally the other way around. The locker room gets toxic. People just don't care anymore. They're not. I'm like, I'm good running these deep routes. But I guess he got an upgrade from Watson, right?
He did a little bit. I want to look at this.
A lot of it. Jameis wasn't a good. He's not good for team wins, but he was great for yards.
Old Tom updated the spike weeks sheet through week 16. Jerry Jeudy. 2 spike weeks, 3 consistent weeks, 3 above average.
And here you go. Tua didn't even let me get to the point. I'm getting ready to give another jersey away to the group, but sorry. Damn it.
And all of his weeks have come since week 11.
Well, yeah, there was no. Tell me outside of maybe Njoku had a meaningful week. Like, I guess Cooper might have had one, but the whole offense didn't do anything through the air. It didn't do anything till week 11.
No, the only ones that I'm like truly impressed with, Terry McLaurin, JSN, a lot higher. Brian Thomas.
Wait, it's like this is kind of like, is this like recap again? We've been getting some hate lately. You guys stop talking about the same three players. Remember that was last week? That was hilarious.
Yeah, that dude was mad. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Malik Neighbors.
But you're impressed with those guys still? Okay.
I'm impressed with them with how many consistent weeks plus above average weeks that they've had.
So, but like, to the point of now, I guess Wilson and Drake London, the targets are pretty high, right?
Now the only thing concerning is
cheers, everybody.
Malik Neighbors has only had 1 since week 4.
One consistent week?
Yep.
Well, it wasn't a boom week, but it was like a top 12 week, right?
Yeah, it was 9. Drake London also kind of tailed off there. Garrett Wilson obviously has listen, Garrett Wilson is either a top 5 wide receiver or he's a hindrance to your team.
Yeah, but isn't okay. I was just gonna say that though, right? Like I think the guys you mentioned there, though, like their floor is kind of, it's not fun. Like people gonna get mad because the expectations are so high, but they're gonna hit wide receiver 2 weeks just off of showing up because they get that type of target load. Who was the third person you said there? I forget. We got a super chat. Hold on, super chat. Hey. Tua, this is how you get a question answered, all right? Right here.
Right, Dr. B's got it.
Let's go, Dr. B.
I think before we even... I saw it in the chat, he had a start sit.
Okay, here we go. What do we got, Dr. B?
So you got to scroll to the
Keep rambling. Also, answer my questions posted very early. At your earliest convenience, of course. Okay. I like that. Well, I will say, though... Dr.
B is a badass.
That was kind of dope how he did that. Like, hey, I'm going to super chat it so you answer it, but still...
But still
answer that one.
Me,
I like that.
Bitch.
I respect what you did there. Was good. Got a lineup question with tomorrow's game in mind. Start 2: Pollard, Sharps, Marv, Odunze.
Sharps is going in with Kenneth Walker not playing.
We really glazed over, not in a good way, the Marv thing. I'm kind of curious I want to get back to that point at some point here.
Okay. Well, I'm starting Sharps for sure.
When Walker's out and Sharps playing, there's just no.
No, there's no question.
1 + 2 = 3. We know it's simple math. You don't need to show your work on this one.
Man, Pollard has really kind of sucked here lately.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one. Let me look at old Tony Pollard here on. Since I got the spike weeks open, let me look at Tony Pollard.
I wish Hold on.
He has not been beneficial to your lineup since week 12.
Pollard.
Yes.
Yeah,
which
because
was RB5.
What was it, 2 weeks ago? He got a touchdown early, looked like it was going to be a good day, and then Tajay ended up eating into the workload. He's been banged up, and I feel like it's wearing on him, and they're not a team that's good, so he doesn't have reason to go out there and try to carry 28 times when he's...
Marv has not been good for you since week 10.
Keep going. There you go. I was going to say, keep going. Scroll.
And let's look at Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze was last relevant for his only 2 times this year, week 14.
So, but Okay, here, check this out. Let's pull this warp up again because this is a good point, actually, to the Marv and Odunze thing. So this is just a standard PPR this is start 10, okay? Marv is wide receiver 38 in warp overall. Rome Odunze, albeit he's lower, 48. Mm-hmm. There's really nothing as far as like what that's. It's not like there's any meat on the bone. It's just it's a already eaten wing, you know? Like there's 0.62 to 0.8. So, yeah, I think I like the fact that Marv's in a better, more consistent situation, but it's not. Rome probably has more upside, honestly, it feels like. Just a lot less of a floor, which is crazy because Marv doesn't have a great floor. I'm playing Sharps and I'm playing. Let me look at the matchup again one more time. I want to see what this. I want to see this Bears thing. The Bears is the one of the hardest things to pinpoint, man. Like, even if you have the process, this is another process thing. You could think everything you want about last week, use all the data that you want. The offense has been inconsistent. Who gets the targets has been inconsistent. And it's not lined up, like, really clearly with even coverages. It's kind of diabolical. Let's see.
Between Marv and Odunze, I'm starting Marv.
Are you?
Yeah, pretty confidently.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's go back to week 10. Who's had like the higher upside games since then?
Marv.
Feels like 4 for 77 isn't even in his vocabulary anymore. I could be misremembering. That's why I'm thinking on this one.
You're not crazy.
I feel like that's. Go ahead.
Marv, 48, 21, 41, 66, and 56.
Yeah.
Are his finishes. Odunze, not much better. 34, 44, 77, 12, 61, 37.
I called it, but that's the thing. 77, while it's not like, oh my gosh, it's 77 yards. I'd still kind of stand by that.
That is 77th wide receiver.
Didn't he have 77 yards in that game recently, though? I could be. Maybe those numbers are just correlating the same.
3 weeks ago, he was wide receiver 12 on the week. But 77 wide receiver. That's what I was listening off, what their finish was for the week.
Yeah, wide receiver 12. He had 77 yards last week, okay? Give me some credit versus Detroit.
And he was wide receiver 37.
Yep. But wide receiver 12, let's see. Let's take a look at. Because here's the thing. In the championship game, I'm probably assuming you have to shoot for the upside play here, right? The last time Marv was wide receiver 12 was week 10 before the bye. Like, I think realistically, neither one of these guys actually offers you anywhere near a safety net. And if I don't have any type of safety net, like, I'm not going to act like Rome's a... Listen, I'm not trying to say Rome's obviously the better upside play, but I kind of feel like in that offense, it could be one of those days where because there's still DJ Moore, because there's still Keenan Allen, he gets the opportunity to, even if it's only on 3 shots, where he converts on those sometimes, you know? I'm feeling very defeated on Marv putting him in my lineup this year. I'm not out on the player and the prospect. Not in my lineup this year, though.
I'm playing Tony Pollard.
Are you? I feel like he was the one I was kind of just pencil out early, but to your point, this is so gross over here, wide receiver land. Let's take a look at running back, the winter wonderland going on over there. Well, Tajay's been a thing the last few weeks, but to your point, it's because of absence. What's the scoring format? What's the scoring format, Dr. B?
I'm going Pollard and Sharps.
Jacksonville's so bad. Jacksonville's so loaded. By the way, speaking of warp, you know Mason Rudolph per game? Quarterback 9. Quarterback 9.
The white Jameis Winston.
Buddy. Well, listen. What do you think of Grinches? Huh? Are you into that type of thing?
I like Grinches.
Do you? Here, let me get. Fun. Here, how about this Grinch? You be the Jim Carrey type?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Jimmy Carrey? He normally isn't this happy looking. I made him a little too happy.
No. He must have just got laid.
Yeah. Here, let's correct that, actually.
Or the man's was just watching a Bella or Mia.
The Grinch gets happy every now and again. It's normally when he's making someone really upset or ruining their time. Kind of like Marv this year. I was going to actually ask you, if you had to give me Grinches for this season, like guys that they stole Christmas from you, who would be on the McNutted list? Let's give him the still face, all right? Let's do that again.
Christian McCaffrey fucked everybody.
For sure. Okay, yeah, that's fair. And the worst part is he got you on the front and the back end. Pause.
Both. He got you at both ends. Both holes.
Jimmy. Yeah, he got you with the smile and the smirk right here, you know?
You weren't safe either way.
Well, you're never safe with the Grinch. Speaking of which, I need to put the Grinch music on. What am I doing here?
Cooper Kupp has to be on there unless he completely redeems himself, but most teams are probably eliminated after these last 2 weeks with him. Like you were cooking, and then Cooper Kupp said, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, honestly, like not because you were high on him or whatever. I liked him. I had him in spots. He actually did. He is one that is top of mind. I feel like for me, I'm thinking of the question at least as McCaffrey is 100% a correct answer. He may be the 101 of the answers. But it's like you got used to playing without him for so long, right? And then you feel like he kind of had found money, and then he kind of just let you down so fast. You're not wrong. It's just like when you have a guy that you put in your lineup in the playoffs, and he just bones you, that's like, you know, it's as bad as it gets. As bad as it gets.
I mean, some of these injuries were just fucking brutal, man. You had found money with Chris Godwin early part of the season. Injury. Done.
Perspective angle. See, we're down low. He's got that dominance.
Oh,
you know, he's putting that belly in your face. What's Geist?
With the goat.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I talked about buying him on one of my money moves. You know what's crazy? I still look back at that, and I still think you probably should take Amari Cooper. It was a third and Jamal Williams, buddy.
Oh yeah, fucking Jamal Williams.
He was literally dead in that point. So, but yeah, Amari is really let down, especially getting new life in Buffalo just to be mid.
You and I did not buy into this. Thank God. You and I did not buy into this, and we refused to even really acknowledge it. But you remember all them people who had Jaden Reed pushed up into the top 12 of Dynasty ranks after the first couple weeks.
For sure. I was Mike. You're in the league. You're in the title. Warm best balls, number 1 team. Got to pay out for overall points. Jaden Reed has been. He stole Christmas in the way of he's been bench frauder. That Monday game, I didn't even have hope that Monday game. I knew I was cooked. Awful. I mean, no, Reed. The thing is with him, he's always been inconsistent. I think his upside is always going to be there, but without the consistency there with snap share, which is what we kind of talked about. Plus, it's just there's always too many mouths to feed over there, you know?
Look at this, man. Jaden Reed, wide receiver 1 overall. 53-42, wide receiver 2 overall.
Palmer. Which one's Palmer? Is this Josh Palmer? Josh Palmer. My expectations for Josh Palmer were about as low as it gets.
26-25.
Waddle's a great one, though, too, dude. Waddle's
71, 61, 17, 41, 58, 14, we're back. 85, 36, and 40.
Damn. No, actually, Waddle is a great call. And it felt like we've been off of Waddle's cost in Dynasty for so long. Kind of felt like we knew this was, we're acting like we knew this was coming. We've been not thinking about him.
Let's go down this fucking route then. If it's dudes we were already off that were right, Christmas gifts for everybody.
Here we go. Bring it up.
Motherfucking Stroud, you saw it again.
I was going to, Mike. You hit my answer. That was what was going to be my final answer, and for that, I don't apologize. And what I do is, I'll give you something. All right. I didn't. Again, trying to get stuff done during the holidays is not all that fun. Here, how about this Grinch? Right.
Nice.
Pure evil.
Boo!
Do you remember when he did that shit to Cindy Lou Who?
Yeah.
And she just was like standing there, like, nah, it shouldn't bother me.
Taking it. Just taking it. CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert. Two guys, you and I, both off.
But Herbert ended up, at least for his situation, doing pretty well relative to, I think, what expectations were.
You know, Justin Herbert's never had a spike week all season.
Yeah, but that was kind of the reason we were off. Like, he'd probably be fine. He just won't have the it's going to take an act of God for him to have a top 5 week, right?
Quarterbacks who have a spike week on the year, top 5 week.
I was going to say, make sure you preface that for people, because spike week, you might think top 12,
week.
top 5. You got to be top 5 on the week. So even if you had a great week, your wide receiver or quarterback 7, you could get beat by a couple points and not miss the top 5 and miss the top.
Joe
5.
Flacco. Joe Flacco has a spike week.
Is Joe Flacco elite?
Justin Fields has a QB1 overall week. This season.
That's crazy.
Dak Prescott, Jameis Winston, Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr, Bryce Young, Daniel fucking Jones.
Wait, Danny Dimes had a top 5 week?
Danny Dimes
was it early in the year when everyone was like just disappointing?
No, it was
really?
right before he got fucking benched or hurt or whatever the fuck it is.
Cut. So they were like, let me get a top 5 week. We're gonna put you out on the JV squad. You're gonna play scout team, and then we're gonna cut you. I like that.
Week 9, Danny Dimes, quarterback 3 overall.
Wow.
Tua
week 9. Oh, you know what? Week 9 probably too. Now you're saying that I kind of remember him being good. I didn't remember 3. There was a lot of buys that week, but
Rich and Kirk Cousins both have 2 of them.
Yeah, Kirk had 2 games which were elite, and the rest of the season was tragic.
You know who does not?
Well, I think we said Justin Herbert. I wanted to shout out to Rip, by the way. I know he's probably not out here. Mike, you know how hard it is to get really truly below the line, like your negative warp? You got to be bad, right? Skylar Thompson, buddy, is like,
wolf.
You have to make the graph significantly different shaped so that you can put a minus 0.059 on him.
Do you know, in reality, if you're just looking at it from a best ball perspective, Brock Purdy has been more valuable to your fucking team than Justin Herbert?
Damn it, Mike. Say that again.
Brock Purdy has been more valuable to your fantasy football team than Justin Herbert.
You know who else has been?
Jared Goff.
True.
Sam Darnold.
Man, this is pain. This has to hurt.
I am naming off every quarterback I fucking hate.
Well, hold on.
Just saying.
You're close, dude. You've done a great job, Mike. This is like the last push of the baby. You got to get this thing out. Come on, let's do this. One more. Give me one more.
Geno Smith. No, Jameis Winston. There he is. What up, Jameis?
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Eating them W's. Nom, 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 nom.
What's warp? I like that. Damn, bro. That's crazy. So what is Herbert? What is Herbert? Let me see this actually. So this is 6-point passing touchdown I'm looking at.
He's not.
Is that right?
Great.
Well, he also had a. No, he's not this far down.
He's pretty far down. Somewhere around, I'm going to guess, around the Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins range.
27, dude. Gee, many Christmas. I was going to guess more like, I was going to guess like 21 would have been like as low as it got.
Bad.
He can do the limbo, buddy. Damn, he can really do the limbo, huh? How low can you go?
Bad.
Yikes, that's crazy, bro. I would not have guessed that. You got me on that one.
Wow.
Okay, so let's do this. Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert?
Man, Trevor Lawrence has been shit, too.
And hurt.
Give me Trevor Lawrence.
Really? Okay. I need the logic because I don't have an answer that's like that's why it makes sense.
The true answer is
the famous one, the Jameis one.
They're in a giant tier of shit, so who gives a fuck?
Well, that's what I was going to say. To me, I default in situations like this. This is what I do. Who has more market value? I don't know if it's clear and cut. I would think Herbert. That's the reason I was thinking that. But
Herbert.
I'm not. Listen, I can be swayed. I'm drinking Johnny Walker Black. You know, what do you got for me?
Going to town.
You could sell me anything right now. You could sell me. Well, okay, I take that back. Skylar Thompson, I have some limits. Bro, you want to what's crazy? Will Levis is as valuable as Deshaun Watson for his entire Browns career.
Jesus.
And Haslam says he's going to play him next year.
I was going to say this, man. Shout out to Tom for this. This is the first time I've really looked at it.
What's up, Tom?
Damn, I love doing it.
Tom's a G, man. Anybody else got questions, by the way? I got time.
Do you know Caleb Williams has 4 spike weeks on the season?
I sure do. I've been told every week, playing Caleb, I'm going to gape you. I mean, you're probably not wrong, but Caleb last week was the perfect recency bias for people to think about, where they're playing Detroit. I mean, realistically, it wasn't like a great day for him, but guess what happens? Running around I don't know why he picked that damn 18 number. He's running around for his fucking life and just chuck, and
yeah, that number's shit.
You pick that 18 number, you got to come out and just ball. Like, you got to put that number into a different. That's so.
It's like if you're a running back and you pick 41, you have to be Alvin Kamara level good,
right,
to make it cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you also had to have been like, sitting behind. You had to be sitting behind like Adrian Peterson and those guys, and they had like no numbers left. Like, here's 41 for you. All right.
Could you imagine if like Kamani Vidal was like number 41?
Yeah.
Dynasty.
I will say, if he did that, he would have just helped everybody get there a little quicker. But kind of sucks. I really like the prospect.
Season where Garendo had like
49
or something.
49.
49. That's what it was.
I'm big number guy. Like, I lock those in. But like the one thing is that a lot of the older school coaches, they make these rookies that don't have any draft capital take like terrible numbers, and then if they make the roster, which they should, they can get a better number. But yeah, rocking 49 even in practice while you're fighting for your job has to be awful. Is there a worse number than 49? That's terrible.
As far as best ball goes, I mean, the difference between Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams is negligible. They're the same fucking picture.
Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, dude, Kyler Murray is I guess because of position, maybe a little bit better version of what Marv's got going on. Like, because Kyler has had some weeks. Like, Marv's had some weeks too. But Kyler, realistically, for a guy that we were putting in the Konami code, area code, right? Like, that's a rare spot to be in. He has been, I'll just say, to me anyway, like, close to as frustrating as A-Rich, because the expectations I had for him were better. Like, I know people don't want to hear this, but I expected A-Rich to be scary. I didn't expect it to be this bad, I'll be honest with you. Okay? But
it's pretty piss poor.
Like, Kyler Murray's, I don't know, man. Both on the NFL side and for fantasy, it feels like it's still lackluster. Be honest.
For fantasy purposes, though, Anthony Richardson in best ball is better than C.J. Stroud.
Yep. This could be like the Justin Fields thing all over again. Like, yeah, but he's going to be out of a job. Okay, well, he might be. He could be right. You could be right. But if you're telling me I'm losing the battle, but I just want to let you know that he's still outscoring him. I mean, the point is with him, he's just dude, they threw the ball 11 times, Mike. They threw the ball 11 times with a guy they drafted in the top 5. Healthy.
They're working him in.
That's crazy.
Give him time.
All right, I want to talk to you about 2 things I got top of mind here. Sam Darnold. I know you put the question off. I'll save you the formality. I'll save you the formality. I'm not going to ask you the question. I know you're going to give me the answer. Sam Darnold in Dynasty. You have him right now. I mean, realistically, there's a chance if you have him right now and you've been playing him, you got into the shit, buddy. Like, because he cost nothing, and he has been balling, right?
Just like that, yeah. I have a few in that.
I have 5 teams in the title, Mike, and I was just looking over the rosters and combing over. color me shocked. I had 3 shares of Sam Darnold. I think that might be my only 3 shares. Not gonna say it's a coincidence, but damn, they're in best ball too. So like, I'm not looking to move off of Sam Darnold like I would be in lineup leagues. What my question to you though is like, going into the new year, all right, working out, you're ready to get ahead of the curve here. What do you do with Sam Darnold?
Trade him immediately.
Okay. All right. How about give me anything? Give me just a tip. Give me just a tip. What are you thinking?
He's right around Dak Prescott. I'll take Dak easily. Can you get that done?
I don't know that you can. We saw it on the trade show in a situation where the person taking Dak was a rebuilder. I think right now you have a week of which Sam Darnold will like stay clearly ahead of Dak personally. Now they might be close, but I think Dak will. He's a.
How about this?
Go ahead.
Eddie first, Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson. I'll take any of those.
Matt Stafford is an interesting one. Just because it's like it could end up being the similar picture, honestly. Now, very differently because Stafford's been the number 1 pick and didn't screw it up like Darnold and was a, staple of your dynasty teams however long he played. But he could end up, having a back issue or leaving in the next couple of years, where Sam Darnold might just sneak his way onto some rosters, whether it's Minnesota or not. Darnold, the Stafford one's interesting. I think the Dak one is one I definitely love. I think that's, man, I was high on Dak this season, and I'll be honest, Fizz, if you're still with me, man, I feel for you. He hurt me.
He did,
but I think Dak Prescott though is going to be, if this is anywhere near reflective of like what the future is going to be, Mike. Shit, man, I'm ready to get hurt again. I'm going to have so many shares of Dak if he's outside of the top 20.
Yeah.
Everything you're talking about with Stafford right there is like that with a little bit more plus, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But who was the other one you said?
Russ.
You said first. Oh, Russell Wilson.
Dangerous.
Yeah, I can kind of get behind the Russ one. It's kind of gross, but at the same point, like it's. Here's, I guess, my question. Like I've been thinking about this, and I don't really know that I have the answer how I want to go about it because I don't have a lot of shares anyway. I have 3, I think. Do those players that you named, outside of maybe Dak in a really good season, can they give you a top 8 warp? I'm not saying Sam Darnold will repeat for the record, but
they don't have to. They just have to give me not outside the top 28 floor.
Well, the reason I'm asking is, I know you say no, and I still don't think they will. But like, if you had to put a percentage chance on it right now, are you putting it at 0? That he's in Minnesota? 5?
5.
Because here's the question for me. I do believe it's probably low probability. I don't know if it's quite 5, but whatever. I'm not here to argue that part. If he ends up being a starter for Minnesota next year, I'm not going to say he's repeating 8, but he probably could end up, realistically, with those weapons, be a top 12, 15 quarterback again.
He could be QB1 again,
right,
if that happened. But the percentage chance,
I don't know what the odds are that it happens. I'm with you. I wouldn't bet on it.
The reason I say it's so low, they drafted J.J. McCarthy. It already looked like in the preseason J.J. McCarthy was beating him as far as getting on the field. Like that was a real possibility before J.J. got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they franchise tag him, Adam, the projected franchise tag next year for a quarterback is $41 million.
Kirk Cousins money.
$41 million. So you got a guy that you
It's
drafted.
kind of funny because they just got off of Cousins.
You got a guy that you drafted and you want to see what he has, and you're going to pay somebody $41 million, and that's all against the cap. So it's not just a question of, like, are you better with Sam Darnold? Are you better with J.J. McCarthy? Are you better with J.J. McCarthy and $41 million to play with? And I think any GM, which this GM in Minnesota has kind of shown that he's pretty fucking savvy, is going to look at and go.
They're very. A lot of the Browns, like Stefanski's from Minnesota, the Browns have a lot of carry over from them. They're heavy analytics, Mike. Extremely heavy on the analytics side over there. So
which means
they tend to do a
money comes into
process play.
That's not factoring in. Let's just say they do restricted tender him and trade him to some quarterback needy team for a second or a third.
That's what I think if they do it, that's 100% what they're going to do, right? Like if you go that route, then it's like, okay, someone want to take him off our hands and you pay us a liquid pick to get back something from McCarthy, that'd be great for them, right?
Yep. So that's why I say like the odds are so low. The financial tag that they even have to put on him just to franchise tag him. This isn't even a contract. Like if they had to pay him a long-term contract, Adam, Jesus Christ, like his agent wouldn't be worth his salt if he's not asking for, $36 million plus,
right,
for over the course of the next 3 years, at least whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we just hit the fucking open market. We're gonna get that from the Jets. We'll go back to New York, right? We'll get this from fucking New Orleans. We'll get it from Vegas. We'll get it from, whoever.
Yeah, someone put this
Giant.
in the chat, by the way. Can he just go start
He's
somewhere?
out.
Yeah. Well, who was it? I saw it here. There it is. Geist. Well, it's funny. I was thinking about this a little bit, too. And it's crazy how
Yeah, I forgot about Titans.
It's crazy how the team or the situation I'm looking at most recently, thinking about a lot, is Atlanta, where they just got off of Cousins. They had a chance, right? They could have went down the Cousins path, and they didn't. Here's the thing about it, though, right? I think the reason they don't is he's coming off a very serious injury. Like, if Kirk Cousins was healthy, Mike, I think that conversation might have been very, very different. But he's coming off the injury. He hasn't done that much for him. I think they would have liked to upgrade, but there's a lot of teams that like to upgrade. It's hard to just get off of a guy that's been good for you. Here's the crazy part about when I look at and I think about you're talking about like the numbers, Mike. So next year, the salary cap is $273 million. That's right, guys. $273 million, and that's 300,000. Okay, so the reason I bring that up is I was thinking about it from the standpoint of, so now 41. Let's do this. This is tough math, man, especially on a long day. But I got you. All right, I'm trying my best. I know it's rambling. Stick with me. Let's do the math on it. One more. It's a lot of zeros too. Jeez. One more. Mike, that's 15% of the cap. Even if they gave it to him on a short, like no risk deal down the road, right? The reason I think that it's a little bit, I still lean that they don't, but I think it's a little bit more convoluted is because, like the Atlanta situation, if you hated it or whatever, the one reason why they ultimately would be right is if they have two chances to have a good quarterback. Because I can tell you right now, if they think Darnold is a above average quarterback, even if you still like JJ, 15% of the cap to give yourself an insurance policy or a guy that still could just keep playing for half a season while they get JJ acclimated from the injury. Like 15, I think that the reality is when you're looking at the NFL now, this isn't even necessarily about the cap as much. I just wanted to bring that up as 41 seems crazy. It's going to always seem that way with inflation as it gets higher, but it is a heavy price to pay. But for a 1 year rental with what he did last year, they have options, right? And I'm not going to say they're going to exercise it or keep him. I just think that it's interesting from the standpoint of you're looking at Atlanta, and if they would have just went down the Cousins thing, they're just like, all right, we're just doing this. We're going to go all in with Cousins. You make that bet wrong, buddy. I mean, because we like Penix, but we still don't know if Penix is good. But they at least have some hope. They got a first-round pick, right, ready to go now. And you got, for example, what if they'd let Darnold walk? And I like the prospect of McCarthy, but we both don't know what he's going to be. If he struggles early, he's playing on an injury. He already hasn't thrown the ball a lot. They have Jefferson. They have a good team built around. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team, but I think it'd be interesting to see how that plays into their analytic game. Because obviously, from just the number standpoint, man, you're not paying 15% to any of these other positions, but it's the quarterback position. So he's exceeded expectations to the point where I still think it's not likely to repeat itself, but he probably has them second guessing quite a bit. I would at least imagine that.
What Thor hit this one today. actually. Big Vikings fan.
Big JJ McCarthy guy.
Big JJ McCarthy guy.
Him and
too.
Debro. Remember the offseason, their pods were awesome. They were talking about JJ.
But over the next 3 years, the question you're asking yourself if you're GM is, would you rather have Sam Darnold or would you rather have JJ McCarthy, $50 million a year in cap space, 3 high-priced free agents could come with that per year, and the round 2 or round 3, even if they don't tag him and trade him, the comp pick that you'd get when he signs somewhere else.
I mean, I think the way they're going to go about it, I think when they go about it, they'd be silly not to give themselves the chance to have someone match it and give them the pick, right? Like that seems like a no-brainer. But well, Mike, here's the thing. I get that. I mean, I listen. There's no shot at him. I know he's a big McCarthy guy. He's very loveless in his podcast. There's nothing against him. I just know where he loves McCarthy. But I'll say this too. You think about it. Think about it from best ball perspective. Now, in best ball, you don't have to pick a guy. These guys literally are picking a guy. But in a lot of our teams, I'm with you on that. What if I said what if I had another year to decide? What if I had another year to get information? What do we talk about in Dynasty? Trade until the very last week. Wait until the last week to trade. You don't have to go buy a running back, even though they matter, in March, right? What if they got for $41 million another year to see? That's I think the reality of what they would do is, like, obviously if they have a team come and say, hey, we're going to take this from you, we'll give you a 3rd or 2nd round pick, I think they would love to have someone make their decision for them. But what's the worst that would happen if you did that, by the way? I'm just curious. Like,
put yourself into purgatory?
No, they're not putting themselves into purgatory.
You put yourself into cap purgatory. You run yourself out of a window by paying for a mid-quarterback and not be able to surround mid-quarterback with everything they need to compete, right? You become the Baltimore Ravens after they pay Joe Flacco. That's what you become, the San Francisco 49ers after they pay Brock Purdy next year. That's what you become. You had your window, you had your shot, and you fucked it up. That's what you become. That's the risk.
But they don't know, because that's different, though. They don't have a quarterback yet. J.J. McCarthy still is, while they invested in him, we have no idea what he is. And they're also middle of the road as far as cap goes. They're not like a team that's fucked in cap space, right? They don't have. They
got out of salary cap hell by getting rid of Kirk Cousins and letting him walk and not paying him.
Yeah, but that was the point. They ultimately didn't give him. If they were having to give Sam Darnold a contract that was multi-year, I don't think this is even in their thought process, right? I think there's still, if they were to do it, even think about that. Even everyone listening to this, right? Whatever side you're on, I'm not actually on the Darnold side. I think though that they might try to extend their opportunity to make a decision. If they were talking as great of a year he's had this year, Mike, right, with them, if they were talking multi-year, I don't even think no one's even. They would literally hanging up the phone on anyone they're talking to. The agent, they're not doing a multi-year with Sam Darnold even after this great season he's had. If anything, they might consider, and I don't even know if they will, they might consider running back a rental, because I think if J.J. McCarthy's coming off an injury and he hasn't had a lot of reps, I think that's the only thing. If J.J. McCarthy was like 100% going to be healthy, ready to go, and if they trust him that much in the front office to do that, they still could let Darnold walk. But there's enough uncertainty around it with some of the random variables that I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I don't think that if I had to bet still, I still think that Darnold won't be in a Vikings uniform next year. But, man, a lot of times you look at what 41 gets you in the free agency. It's not purgatory because it's not a quarterback, but you know what ends up getting you? A bunch of guys that weren't that good, and they were supposed to be in the free agent market because they were in the free agent market, and they end up kind of turning over. Now, you could end up hitting one. I mean, you definitely do see some free agents that it's like, man, if you could bundle that into one player, you can get a stud out of the free agency pool. But none of them ever will amount to a quarterback if you have certainty there. I think Darnold ultimately in the playoffs will show his hand too. If he, we'll see a lot in the playoffs. If he was to win a few games in a row, it'd be hard. But if he does what I kind of expect and kind of choke in the playoffs in the first round, this thing might not even we might have been wasted half of what do we got? 20 minutes here on Christmas for nothing. You know, if they lose in the first round or second round, it's like that shithead who was leaving the the AMA overlay. Bye.
5% for me. So if I have them, I'm in the championship or whatever with them. Ride them out. But as soon as that's over, see you later. It's a pivot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, O'Connell. I'm confused by the O'Connell part. Maybe I'm. Kevin. I'm thinking. I'm just right now. This Aiden O'Connell thing. I'm so ready to be over it. I got it, Kevin. I'm tripping.
Kevin.
I think Kevin's a good play caller, but yeah, Justin Jefferson. Of course, he makes Darnold, but like, isn't that? I don't want to be. I'm not a Darnold guy for the record. I've never been one. Mike, I'll put this out there. Mike was a bigger Darnold guy when he was like kind of cooked. He didn't have a job than I was, but I get it now. Here, but if you have a guy like Jefferson, aren't you supposed to do this? Show me who's done this with Jefferson actually. Like Cousins, maybe, kind of. Cousins, I don't think was actually a top 8 quarterback. What's that?
Astronaut. Nick Mullins last year.
Oh,
like these guys all showed. Nope. These guys all showed flashes of confidence.
Flashes.
Kevin O'Connell's
flashes is fine. This is a team that's how many flashes is it in one season? They're what are they 11 and or 12?
If they would have had the same amount of games, they could have done the same exact thing Sam Darnold's doing right now.
Dude, don't do that. Nick Mullins is not doing Sam Darnold. Don't tell the people that. Like, come on, you're better than that. Do it.
I also watched Nick Mullins have terrible games, just like I watched Sam Darnold in this system have terrible games.
You're trying to tell the people right now on Christmas that you think Mullins would do the same thing as Darnold's doing right now?
I watched him last year do it.
All right. Well, I was trying to have a good combo. Now I know we're at a bias point, and that's okay. I get it. He had a couple of games he's not even anywhere close to doing on a consistent basis.
QB 11, QB 11, QB 5. That was Nick Mullins last year.
Okay. And go ahead. Read Darnold. Read Darnold. He's quarterback 8, Mike. Better than most of those weeks for the year.
3 games. 3 games last year.
For the year, he's beating 2 of those games you're talking about.
3 out of 5 fucking games last year, Nick Mullins did the same exact thing.
Listen, this is one, Mike. I get it. You don't like him. You want McCarthy. I get all that, but to act like Nick Mullins, these guys did not because they gave the keys away. They literally totaled the car.
I watched these fucking turnbuggers do it last year in the same system with the same weapons.
All right. Well,
the only difference is they didn't have a full season to showcase.
There you go. See. There's 2 guys get. You know what? Let me. This is a great segue. You know what I get for getting a gift, a thoughtful gift? Just no thought back on this at all. No, he stinks. There's nothing. This is. I'm wasting. I will say I'm not wasting my breath because if you're here and I'm not answering questions, you're listening to that. Maybe it helped you in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if it did. I don't think we gave any actual dynasty advice other than he's still really risky. And he could end up in a new situation where it doesn't matter. He's a starter. I mean, look how many starters are in a bad situation right now. And there's quarterbacks this year, Mike, that were lauded players that lost their job and got it back or whatever. You think Sam Darnold on any other team, even the Vikings too, is guaranteed to keep a job? He's not.
Josh Dobbs in Minnesota, QB 7, QB 5, QB 3, QB 14.
Buddy, Sam Darnold's quarterback 8 for the season. He's beating a lot of these numbers you're listing as weekly finishes on their good things. He's higher than that in a whole season.
Good for him. He's had the whole season. Dobbs got traded mid-season.
I'll hear a lot of it. I'll hear a lot of it. I'm not going to yell at you because there's no point in doing that. But acting like Josh Dobbs play and Nick Mullins play, although good in windows, is similar to what Darnold's doing right now, is just not being truthful about the matter. I'm not saying Darnold is some great player, that's some unbelievable quarterback. I think he is a little bit talented. And to the point that was earlier, who was it? Geist? Geist has been, damn it, Geist. You've been coming with some, I can't read half of it because I've been drinking, but some good points. Like, yeah, but if you do have Justin Jefferson, of course Justin Jefferson's making him. Of course Kevin O'Connell. He was nothing without these guys. We've seen him be terrible. But if you do have those guys, you should at least be good. Like I want to see you be a top 10 quarterback, right? That's it. I mean, he's at least done that part. Truth is, he's well, I was going to ask this because I'm not going to ask it to you because it's probably not worth any one of our times. I'll put it out in the air if you want to go to Dobbs again or whatever. That's fine. But like Baker Mayfield, I think was very much the same archetype too. Now he did much more than Darnold. When I say much more, I can't stress that enough. What he did in Cleveland in his rookie season often gets forgotten. He played his last year in Cleveland. It was an idiot, would not come out of the games with basically an arm that couldn't throw. And that was just stupid. And then we lost him, Mike. We lost him, damn it. And we got Watson because of it. So I'm not saying he's but they're in the same class, and Baker Mayfield was a backup for frickin' Stafford. He was tossed around for a while. He got lucky, found a home in Tampa. I'm not sure that Darnold's going to get that luck because normally you don't see a guy land in a good situation that's this first round quarterback retread. But I will say too, you got sometimes you got to make sure you don't try to have your cake and eat it too, because got to roster all these guys, but you don't want them to succeed anywhere. Baker's not he's the exception to the rule probably. So he could end up getting success somewhere else, but I just wouldn't be. It's still important while I'm trying to have a good discussion with Mike. You don't want to go into recency bias too much here. Like there's a ton of risk still with the dynasty profile of Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and just 2 weeks ago we saw him be shit. QB 20.
Yeah. I mean,
for the season, fantasy points look good, Adam. Not gonna lie, record looks good for him. Bottom half in the league in money throws, top half in the league in most interceptable passes.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. They have a very good team that's kind of masking that. One of the biggest problems, and a lot of quarterbacks that are highly touted that don't succeed, is exactly what you just talked about. Look at Will Levis, who wasn't a first-round pick. Like, they'll put the ball in harm's way. And Sam Darnold, at his core, I don't think, Mike, is going to actually ever really get past that. He's a guy that will always continue to put the ball in harm's way. Like, now, this year you at least saw some good. Believe it or not, in his career, you really didn't see good. You had a rushing window of like a month in Carolina. He was never really a good passer. So that was a good thing for him. You talk about a gift. It's a gift for the season. But just make sure you don't put too much value on what just happened this year and the long-term game. Because it could work. It could work next year. Like, it could be a gem again next year. But the floor is past my basement, buddy. Where we get.
He was abysmal versus the Jets. He was abysmal versus Jacksonville, and he was abysmal 2 weeks ago versus Chicago.
Yeah, and he also was he's actually had some really good weeks in the second half of the year. But he was, again, similar to what he's done in the past. He was electric early. He's not been as consistent later. But again, I mean, if you're being fair about it, you're just trying to. There's been also how many quarterbacks haven't finished quarterback 20 or had 4 bad games. There's a lot of opportunity to have bad play, but also not everybody has TJ Hockenson back and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison playing out of his mind too. So
Aaron
definitely
Jones, good defense good defense and
Cam Akers
offensive line. I wouldn't go that far,
buddy. The Vikings, if you think they're a smart place, I was going to bring that point up last because it's totally irrelevant, but they, as smart as they might be, they paid to get a guy like Cam Akers off of an Achilles tear twice. It boggles my mind. Someone out there likes Cam Akers more than I do.
They love him. They love him more than you do. Didn't think we'd find one.
How about Keenan or CD as your flex?
Oh, CD. I'm not benching fucking CD in the championship for Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
I made that mistake today when I benched Kyle Pitts for fucking Dalton Schultz and 2 for 21. Fuck you. Even though Pitts has been god-awful.
Wait, I thought I heard it the other way around. Okay, so you sat Pitts and you played Schultz? Or no, vice versa. You played Pitts?
Sat Pitts.
Yeah.
Played Dalton Schultz.
Well, Pitts doesn't get credited for the interception, at least, but he should have.
He should, even though he's fucking terrible, too.
If CD starts playing... listen, there's always a chance with him and what's going on in their offense
that
that he could, miss snaps or he could end up leaving the game hurt. But you know what also could happen? Like Keenan Allen has had a few ridiculous weeks, actually. I think it's been 2 that are like balls to the wall. But Mike, look at his history and look at this team's history. Inconsistent. You're betting on right now him catching lightning in a bottle twice when your money depends on it. I would say just as a non-gambler, I don't gamble anymore because there's nothing to gamble, all right? But I wouldn't be putting it down on that. I'm not putting that down 2 weeks in a row on Keenan, personally, especially when I have an option like CD. If this was a different option, fine, but no. Cooper Rush. CD Lamb, 88.
CD Lamb.
And Mike hates the Cowboys.
I do. And they
play the Eagles.
Quinyon, best corner in the league.
Bro, your GM has made some bad trades. I want to make sure that people know that because he can. He is human, but golly, it is a absolute. He's mopping the floor with people in real life. Huge, meaningful job. It's just crazy. So, do I play Pitts this week, Mike?
If your choice was him or Dalton Schultz, I guess they got made for you, did it?
Yeah, this is why I don't want to buy tight ends. Like, Mike, you know how long I've had Kyle Pitts and a couple teams that I overpaid for him. I'll be honest. I had the luxury of like being in a good spot. I'm 100% doing sunk cost fallacy. I 100% know I'm never probably going to get out of him what I should, and I'm hoping that he just returns to prominence. And I'm kind of out. I don't think he will return to prominence. And I don't think I'll ever get out of him anywhere near like that crazy allure value anymore. Unfortunately, you know.
Everybody's sitting there with their Brock Bowers shares, like it can't happen to me.
I mean, listen, I don't. It's not fun for me to be like, hey, sell the best player in Dynasty. And believe it or not, you know. But I've seen this. I haven't seen Brock Bowers. Okay, let me just say that he's been unreal. Albeit that team has nothing else to throw the ball to. This isn't anything against him. It's just he has to be the best and stay the best to even be close to paying what his price is. So Seattle secondary is trash, but if CD is active, you got to play him. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if you go back, I think Mike said on this plenty, the amount of times I've heard Waldron's name in a bad way, bad light. It's in general, but Mike he's done a good job in burying the guy. How many teams have they played that are trash? They play them. They're not all the Lions they played last week, and a lot of times almost nobody does anything. It's just hard to trust one of 3 where there is not a secure guy. And honestly, Keenan Allen to me, Mike, of the group, he's like, I guess maybe 2B. I don't know. Like realistically, weekly, if you had to just order them on random, like how confident are you even saying him versus the Chicago guys?
No.
I mean, I'm not saying you can't start him, but I'm not like being like, hey, I got to rank Keenan Allen ahead of. I might rank him ahead of Rome, depending on the matchup, but I almost never rank him ahead of DJ Moore.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm good.
Nope, CD.
Bro is Njoku playing. He's getting an MRI. Guys, he played last week. I will say this guy, don't write him off. This guy, literally, speaking of even if there's a fire, he got burnt. He got his face cooked and played. Like, there's nothing for him to play for right now, Mike. But, hey, I wouldn't bank on it. But you never know. He might suit up. I played Kelsey today because I didn't want to wait on it. So if you have other options at tight end, as great as he's played, I would play him. All right, one more questioner, 2 more questions and we get out of here. Mike's got work tomorrow. I got sleep some point, hopefully. For Dynasty, you know what? I messed up. Didn't play the music anymore, man. Although now we don't need there's no point playing the spicy stuff right before we go to bed. For Dynasty, are we selling high on Addison second half of the season? Are we keeping him as a rebuilding team? 12 team Superflex, 1.5 tight end premium, full PPR, start 11. I talked about this. I did a huge in the summer when you're waiting for football. like second round picks. Now Addison was technically a late first, right, in this class. But like guys in that late first, second, late second, you look at it, Addison probably realistically right now is going to be towards the higher end of his dynasty value life, even if he plays pretty well. Like, think about Chris Godwin right now. Chris Godwin was in the same breath as Jordan Addison was this year, smashing. So I would be okay with it. But at the end of the day, this question, while I would do it, it's kind of vague too. Like, what does selling high look like? I don't know how many people are actually like going and spending a premium for him too. What would you need?
He's right around wide receiver 20 on keep trade cut.
Oh my god!
Kind of feels like a lot like the Jaden Reed situation. Like
I was actually thinking the exact. It was the single player I was thinking of. Like they're the same idea.
Like I'm good.
20?
I'm good at that price. Yeah, 20. Starting to get a little bit too high.
I guess one of the things about keep trade cut is you have to rank someone over the other, right? So, but dude, 20, buddy. I'm thinking right now with like no real memory ability. Like I could give you 30. I might consider over Addison. 20 is insane. You're telling me right now then, I got to see this with my own eyes, like who is in the range. Devontae Smith he's ahead of. DK is ahead of. Honestly, I think DK is fine. I would take DK still ahead of him, but like it's not terrible. Waddle, Reed. Yeah, he's in the Reed conversation, just more exciting right now because it's top of mind. Let me ask you this. J-Mo or Jordan Addison? We did it. I think you asked me this recently too. I called him a poor man's Jordan Addison. You still stand by that? Or no?
Straight up, I'll take Addison, but
yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I get J-Mo in a second.
Gosh,
take that side.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll save it. I'm gonna save it for next Christmas, I guess. I had a segment for Bad Santa, but we feel like we're much past that. Bad Santa, Mike. You know what? Let's end it. Fuck it. I made it. You're Bad Santa. I know you said it was Josh Allen. Give me someone that's not like. No. You said no. I take that back. It was Baker Mayfield. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Okay. Die Hard was Josh Allen. If it wasn't Baker, is there anyone else that would be Bad Santa or someone that like?
No.
The one person I was thinking of is a little bit of Jamar Chase because people were concerned about him going in the season. He wasn't reporting. He was talking a lot of craziness to reporters. Like, I know I'm the best, and he's lived up to it, but it's a different conversation. He was already in the wide receiver 1 tier. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about Bad Santa? Anyone this year that you think like a little bit of a bad character guy or you had concerns, controversy that is balled out of his mind? But that's all I got, man. Let's see. Bro, the music scared the duck out of me. Well, I'm glad we got that duck out of you, man. You know, we got to get the duck out of you because we're going to get the duck out of there this week. All right. Ohio State. Sold Addison. Sold Addison for Chuba and point per carry. Especially when you get into crazy formats like Addison's a guy I think I would like to have, but I'm comfortable getting off of pretty easy. I don't see any other ones. Merry Christmas. All right. Hey, Dynasty Key. What's going on, man? Mike, any final thoughts for Christmas, man? We are Christmas always makes me think of the new year too. This year is over, and not just that, we have a week to decide who's winning our leagues. Anything fantasy wise or content, anything personal, anything to get out of here with?
Nope, just a big week, championship week. A couple games on Saturday.
This week is
on Sunday and on Monday.
This week is kind of diabolical when you think about like. You got to keep pulse on everything from the Wednesday. So you got games Wednesday, Thursday. You got, I'm
Saturday.
Starting fucking Elijah Moore. Everything I saw, I had to stop. Trip Crown, you apologized to me. You didn't have to earlier, but this I'm worried about. You're starting Elijah Moore in Pitts. We got to figure something out, buddy.
Poor
like those feel like you're doomed before they start. Well, I'll tell you what. You never know any week, so I'm hoping the best for you. Let us know. We got to go. It is almost midnight here. I got people literally sleeping like right outside the door, probably like, bruh, shut the hell up. Get out of here. Go to bed because we can't sleep. Man, I don't know what happened. I sucked all the life out of this guy. He is angry. Not like Winston here. Love you. We'll see you back here. Same time, same place. Next week. Peace.